Perfect. Hey everyone, my name is Benjamin Horry. I'm the co-founder of Spotlite and host of Model Talk. Today I'm joined by
Carmen.
Very nice to have you on.
Nice to meet you.
We were just talking off camera that we both wanted to switch. Well, actually, you didn't want to switch.
Yeah.
I wanted to switch because I think we both prefer the left side.
Yeah, I like this left side. And the funniest thing is that I always get sure touching my freckles. Like, I'm like, wait, which one was it? And I'm like, yeah, this one. Because I have the freckles here.
So, like, I guess you've been modeling for a little bit of time now, or like how long have you been in the industry?
It has been a short time. It has been only 1 year.
Oh, wow.
I started on March 2023.
Okay.
Because while I was in Spain, like before COVID and everything, I was studying fashion design in university.
Oh, cool.
So my idea was like after finishing university, come here to Korea and study like a major in fashion because I focused more in like Asian fashion industry.
Yeah.
And I really liked Korea because of the street style pret-a-porter that I was going on. Like they really prioritize like a small business and like small brands.
Yeah.
And in Spain, or at least in Europe, it's more like high fashion or Inditex, like fast fashion. And I didn't really like it. So COVID hit, I wasn't able to come. And in the meantime, I worked as a stylist with my Valencian boss. And then when I came here, my idea first time was to find a work in the fashion industry, like not as a model, because to be honest, in Spain, I'm really average. Like my looks are pretty average. So no one ever portrayed me as a model. And I tried to find a job, but I didn't speak Korean, so no one wanted to hire me. And also the ones that wanted to hire me, they needed a minimum of 5 employees for the E7 visa, and there were only 2 or 3. So it didn't work out in the end. So I was really, really lucky. Shout out to Ryan. I was outside, like having fun in Hyundai, and I met him. And
just by random, like
randomly,
wow.
He was like, "I love your vibe." Like I was dancing with my best friend that we came to Korea together, and he was like, "Wow, you two are so like vibing. Like it's so nice." And we started dancing together and everything. And he just like asked us like, "Are you models?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Why not?" And I was like, "Can I?" And he was like, "Yeah, I think you will be a good fit." And I remember that the thing that he focused more was on my hairstyle, like the curly hair, and like also, I mean, the rest also was like helping, but the curly hair, he said, "Oh, I think that's gonna work really well here." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then he helped me out. I found a model agency. I did all the paperwork. I had to wait, of course, back in Spain. And then I finally came back on 2023.
Whoa, that's so crazy. Because like I had Ryan on a few weeks ago, and like he's really, really amazing. Like so nice, like so genuine. It's just really, really cool that like somebody that was on here brought somebody else into the fashion space, and now you're sitting across from me. So when you first came and you met Ryan, like were you here on a vacation or just like traveling?
First time I came was on 2022 of March. Like in the moment that they opened the doors, I was just like jumping in Korea because I also wanted to check how the weather affects me or the water and everything, because I have dermatitis, like atopic skin. So when I went to London, for example, sorry, Ryan, I got so many allergies. Like
really?
literally my skin was like bloated and like getting so many allergies in my eyelids and everything. So I was like, yeah, London is not for me. So when that happened, I thought, okay, maybe I have to check beforehand if I want to live here or work here. And I loved it. Like I was really, really happy. And I came back in summer with my best friend, and we stayed for the 3 months with the Keta. And wait, maybe that's more in a Spanish way. I think it's is Keta exactly the same?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's the visa type when the COVID was going on, like TATA.
I don't know that one.
Well, whatever.
Okay.
So yeah, I was literally just like job hunting, like for the E7 type of visa in the model industry. Sorry, in the fashion industry. But then, yeah, I just thought, okay, if the model industry is also part of what I study anyway, I wouldn't mind being on the other side of the camera. I have already worked for so long behind the camera. I have been doing the making of and like doing all that stuff. So I'm comfortable and I know how it works. And also, I'm really considerate of like how hard it is for the teamwork. Like normally, I know I don't want to get canceled, but I feel like sometimes the models they get too much high up, as in like they are the superstar
Yes.
of the
Yeah.
project or like
Yeah.
the commercial or everything. But it's a teamwork. Like without them, you can do anything. Like without the stylist, the hairstylist, the team, the cameraman, like all the team, or even the assistants, everything is so important, and necessary, and they have been there even like longer than you.
Yeah.
Like when you arrive and you're like, oh, it's 8 a.m. in the morning, so tired. And
But the makeup table's already set up. The camera's already done tests. They already set up the lighting. They did everything. So basically, you can just walk in, sit in a chair, and then start working, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm always try to do it as fast as possible, everything. Like I try to not make as many mistakes and like try to be as smooth as possible because I know they are tired. And like everyone is been there for longer than me. So like I always try to be as cooperative and easy.
That's such an awesome mindset. Like I think like actually that's quite rare in modeling industry because like as you said, like I think a lot of models have like big ego and like sometimes you're just like like let me just get in, get out, like I don't care about everything else. But yeah, like you're so on the money, like it's really like a team effort. Like I think a really good team can change the dynamic of a shooting or like the outcome of the photos.
Totally.
Like night and day. It's so crazy. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. And so you met with Ryan. He was like, hey, like you should try modeling in Korea. Like what were your next steps?
So he helped me out find my model agency, actually the one that I'm actually in right now. And yeah, like I start up with them and everything went smoothly and super nicely. But I was surprised because when I came, I thought, I'm not gonna do anything. Like no one is gonna like me.
Like book you?
Yeah, like no one is gonna book me because I don't have any experience. Literally just some fast photo shoots with the cameraman on the street. Like nothing professional. And my first job was Samsung main model.
Whoa, that's crazy.
It was on April. I arrived on March. It was on April.
That's when you just retire. I did it. I got to the top of commercial modeling. I'm done. You know, mic drop.
Yeah, I was like, what? But to be honest, after that one, nothing. Like emptiness. But I guess it's also what they say, like depending on the month, like it works better, or maybe it's the month for the editing, so that's why there's not that many recording or shooting time. But yeah, I became a Samsung girl. Like literally, Samsung was the only one that gave me jobs, like no other. And now, so slowly, super slowly, step by step. I did also some fashion brands and everything. But now on 2024, I feel like I did biggest because I did also Umbro, like the SS24 Umbro from the start, and also Kia.
Oh wow!
Like main model, but well, there were other main model that you just appear maybe super short time, but you're supposed to be main model.
Yeah.
And yeah, so far like I also have been able to make a lot of networking with fashion brands in the pop-up stores and everything, and like I also presented myself not only as a model but as a stylist or like a fashion designer, fashion illustration or illustrators also. Like I really love to draw, and I saw like my potential in my curriculum and everything, and they were like, oh, so cool, like you do multitasking, like it's not only modeling. So I have been trying to work on that and like get as many contacts, friends, and like grow up in the fashion industry, because I know that being a model, it has like an end period, like like it's not a forever thing. So I think it's good that I try to connect those two worlds and then afterwards decide what I want to do.
Yeah, like I think modeling is like the best way to network within the fashion industry, because you know, sometimes if you're solely on the creative side, you're only really interacting with other creatives. Or if you're in more of a design aspect of building clothes or whatever, you might be a little bit more involved with everything. But modeling is really like you meet everyone, right? Like you meet the creative, you meet the design, you meet the post, you meet the pre-production, you meet other models, you meet agent, you meet everybody, right?
Totally.
And I think like this is like the great track. Like if you want to do something else with fashion after, well, you just use this opportunity to just build network, right?
Totally.
And then you can just, hey, I'm ready to go, like ready to launch my own projects, and you're already set. Okay, so I want to go back to the Samsung job. Like what was that like this is your first job ever, right?
It was my first job as a model, like literally, and the travel was so long. Like I wasn't expecting for her to go to such an industrial area, like to go so far away. And I arrived earlier because super early because I didn't want to be late. Like it was really important job, so I was like, there's like I think half an hour early.
No, that's okay. Like even today when you were early, I was like, oh my god, I love that. Like I'm still here, like kind of stressed because I'm trying to put stuff together, but
I also feel bad to come early because maybe they still need that time to like prepare. No. So it's like
I think people appreciate it because it shows like you're just ready to go. Because like I think in other markets it's pretty. I mean, they're pretty time conscious, but I think like when even myself or friends of mine spent time in Europe, they're a little bit more flexible.
Yeah, like they more easygoing, like just chill. Like when I was working as a stylist, literally we were just like having breakfast and like only the photographer maybe was setting up everything and we were just eating.
Yeah.
And, like talking. And you want coffee? You want to go to the bathroom? Like we were so chill. I was like, are we paying us for hours or how is this working? Like,
did the time already start or? Yeah, no, I know what you mean. So did you feel like a lot of pressure? Like.
To be honest, the team was super nice. Even the Samsung client were so happy with me. Like they were all the time giving words of reassurance to me. Like the girl that was translating everything was like, "You're doing amazing, Carmen." But I was like so nervous because I have never done acting. Like I know it's not like doing a movie or like doing
it's still you have to play a little bit of a character, right?
Exactly. And I wear contact lens. So
okay.
I think it was like a really long suit and like I had to be the whole time there. So my eyes like were drying and they were like, Carmen, can you stop blinking so much? And I'm like, I don't even realize that I'm doing it. Because Samsung likes like this vibe of like slow motion, open eyes and like looking at the stuff like, this is what I wanted. Like this vibe. And I was like, and they were like, please, Carmen, can you hold? And I was like, am I blinking? I don't realize.
That's like when you do like an outdoor shooting and they want you to like look into the sun but like have your eyes open, you're like I'm trying so hard.
Literally. I think also, for example, one of my hardest shooting that I have done for Samsung was the Watch 6.
Okay.
I had to run like on this track rail. How do you call the running?
Like a treadmill? Like running in place, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
But like in different levels, like in towers. Like first level, like slowly walking, and then they were giving me like towers, but like handmade towers. Like they were so unstable, and I had to run in level 10 on the top. Like it was real, like it wasn't Photoshop. Like literally, I was like running,
really?
and I was running the whole morning. And the funniest thing for that casting is that they told me, Carmen, do you run? And I'm like, yeah, I know how to run. And they were like, yeah, but how many times do you run a week? And I'm like, none. And they were like, okay, can you send us a video running? I'm like, of course. And I sent them a video running, and they were like, oh, okay. And one in the same place, and I did it, and they were like, oh, okay. And I was like, fine, like. To be honest, I'm the less athletic person that you can ever meet. No sports, no nothing. I don't know anything. But if I have to fake it till you make it, like Rihanna said. Literally, it's like, oh, you know how to swim? Yeah, of course I know how to swim. But yeah, it was so much fun. Like, and it was so freaking intense. But I did it. I nailed it. Even though I'm not a sporty person, they were like, Carmen, do you need a break? And I was like sweating so much. And they were like, oh yeah, now you have to do acting of like being super tired, sweating, like, oh my God, you are like, you need to feel. And I'm like, and I was like literally looking at the cameraman like, am I not like that right now? Like I'm choking right now. Like I don't need to act, like literally, but it was so
that's so super cool. Like that's actually crazy that like your first jobs were like really, really big TVC. Like that's really, really cool. I mean, I think you got like, I mean, it's there's a pro and con, right? Because like the pro is like you get really great paying job that's really cool, and then it's like all the other jobs below that you're kind of like, oh, this wasn't as cool as my last job. This wasn't as good as my first job.
Literally. So sometimes I try to negotiate like the budget, but they are like, yeah, no, it's a fixed budget, and I'm like, okay, I guess okay. I mean, I need it, so okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I try to like fight a little bit, but okay. At least sometimes they do listen, so I'm happy. But other times it's like I just have to accept because it's a little bit hard out there with that.
So what was like the first like photo shoot like for you? Because I think TVC and photo are very different. Like, I think it's much more easy to be kind of natural in front of like a video camera versus like
the movement and the
one
static.
microsecond of like how you're moved, right? So like, what was your first photo shoot like?
I did like some collaborations first to like build up my portfolio, but the first one that was like a pet job was like for Flutter Studio. It's like a SUS collection, like for the lookbook, and they were also like super kind and super nice, and they gave me two different looks. I have like, depending on how you put my hairstyle, I look like two total different people. Like, when I have my curly hair, I can look more like a French white woman.
Is this natural?
Like, yeah, it's natural.
Oh, okay, cool.
And like I can look like more like elegant, fragile. That's what also Samsung likes, like that I look like a Western woman. But if you put my hair backwards, like with fixer and like straighten it,
like slicked back.
Yeah, like a slick back. I look like a gangsta mafia
that's
boss
cool.
woman. Yeah, like business woman that like, or even I have a little bit like of androgynous vibe with my jawline. So sometimes I can also give like this masculine style. So they also like it depending on the suiting. So I would try both, and depending on the suits, I was like looking more delicate or I was looking like more fierce. So they were like really happy with that. But in terms of like my biggest photo shoot for lookbook was Umbro, totally. Like it was really professional, and like I felt like really unique because the casting for the fitting, it was two blonde blue eyes women and me. And I was like, are they gonna choose me? Like I look totally different, but they ended up choosing me, and I was like,
cool.
I feel special. Like brunettes win this time. So and when I went to the shoot, there were other 3 models, and all of them are their managers. And I was by myself.
Okay.
And I was feeling like lower, to be honest. Like I felt like they were like being protected, like they were being helped, they were like being taken care of, and I was like there by myself, like I got the job and I don't even know how, and I'm here with professional models, and I'm like
But I mean, the thing is, like, managers only really exist in Korea, but like 99% of the time now, I don't want a manager there. I just like I feel like they're just wasting their time. Like, I'm not trying to be arrogant, but I feel like once you can like understand the client a little bit beforehand, like know the product, right? Like, is it sporty clothes? Is it more elegant? Like, look at maybe some of their past lookbooks or e-com campaign, whatever, to get a vibe of like their posing. There's really not much to like converse about. Like,
I guess they also are there to bring them the water, to bring them food, the coffee, and or even translate if they don't speak Korean, I guess. I think it's more for that, or even like for the taking
driving,
driving if they have a car. Like, I think it's that a little bit babysitting, but
kind of. So like, where did you learn? Like, how did you kind of develop like your posing and stuff? Because like, if it sounds like you kind of went very quickly into actually booking jobs from. Coming to Korea and kind of finding an agency and getting sponsored. Like, where did you learn your posing from? Was that like working with photographers for like TFP, doing street shoots, or like did you watch videos, like this kind of thing?
To be honest, this maybe sounds weird, but since I love drawing fashion illustrations, I always have so many image reference of the weird posing that I like to recreate. So I really focus on anatomy. I love anatomy. So I always try to draw like the weirdest posing, not only like a straight fashion basic illustration type, not like just 2 sticks and like the clothing. I like more like drawing the muscles and like doing a real anatomic drawing. And also, since I worked as a stylist, I was able to see how the model works, like how they move, what they do. Like I was like doing a little bit of copycat of like what the experience I got from my eyes, and then I tried to recreate it on myself. And well, I'm always in my Instagram. If you see like my Explorer page is full of like just photographers or like models, like posing lookbook reference, like everything. So I'm always like getting so many poses and ideas coming non-stop. So I just try to recreate and just what I was saying before, fake it till you make it. Like just confidence is key for real.
Yeah,
like just
definitely. Yeah.
To be honest, I wouldn't be here if I didn't have like that confidence on myself, because if I let myself follow my body dysmorphia or like my insecurities, then I wouldn't for sure be where I am right now.
Have you had the chance to do like any cool editorial or like creative stuff?
Oh yeah, I have been able to do like some type of like more editorial and like collaboration type of shooting, as I was able to provide my stylism or like my ideas and even for the makeup and everything.
That's cool.
Yeah, gladly I got for them to contact me, like photographers or even the brands. So, and sometimes, to be honest, I'm also really proactive and I'm always contacting non-stop. Like most of the jobs that I have got is just because I'm on the DMs. Like I look like a spam account. Like I'm all the time like contacting everyone, because I know that I have to do it by myself also. Like I can't just be there at home waiting for them to contact me. Like I'm always trying to find, I'm searching and creating. So sometimes even I think the best creation and collaboration that I have done so far is because I also was the one contacting, and they were like, "Oh, thank you so much for your interest."
Yeah, it's super smart. Really, really, really smart. So like, what was that creative like process like? Did the photographer reach out to you and was like, "Hey, I want to shoot something with you," and then like you guys kind of bounce ideas off each other, or were you like, "Hey, I love your portfolio. I want to shoot a concept like this"?
There was once like that. Like they literally just gave me the concept and that's it. But there was one recently that they were like, we want to work together. Like, this is going to be like a teamwork project. So please provide us what you want. We will also make a PowerPoint, like a mood board, explanation and everything. And I remember when we were doing the shooting, even in that moment, there's even a video of the making of that I'm even with them like, yes, like this. No, we're going to change this. Like, I was like feeling like I was also part of the team. Like, it wasn't just the face. I was also bringing my own accessories, my own stuff, like to make everything. And even, I remember when they did the makeup on me, it was really soft. And I know that under the camera, the colors disappear. Like, it maybe in person you look like a clown, but in the camera, like the colors soften. So I was, when I was back from the makeup artist, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad because I didn't want to be like, how do you call it without, can I say bad word?
Yeah, it's totally fine. Just be yourself. Okay.
I didn't want to be an asshole, but I was like, contacting the teamwork that I was gonna do the shooting with, and I was like, the makeup is so soft. Like, it's perfect, but it's so soft. Like, I need more. We wanted to go for the redness, like, you know, like this tided redness vibe in the eyes, and like, they didn't even put eyelashes on me, and I look like a little kid when I don't have eyelashes. Like, I feel like I can look like a teenager boy without the makeup, and with makeup, I can look like a woman. Like, literally, I feel the difference so big. So I was like, can you please ask her if she can change it a little bit or like add some stuff, because I feel like she literally just retouched my imperfections. Not even base.
No
nothing,
foundation
no contouring,
or anything.
no nothing.
Oh, really?
And just a little bit of redness, lips. That's it. And I was like, what? So yeah, we went back and the makeup artist changed it. But I was feeling so bad, to be honest, to be like asking. But because it was a project that I was the one that asked it for this type of makeup. I felt like I wanted it to be good because I was also part of the creation part. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna ask, and if it's possible, let's try.
I don't think they would take offense to that because at the end of the day, like, everybody is just contributing their time for like a really good end result, right? Like, they just want like an amazing wow photo that, you know, now the makeup artist has, and she can be like, hey, look at this like amazing project I worked on. So like, I don't think anybody really takes offense unless you're like, you know, this makeup is, you know, like,
this is bad. Like, I want to change, redo it again.
Yeah, maybe like that might not be the best approach. But I think if you're like, hey, look, like, I really love what you did, like, but I think maybe this vibe would be better, like, nobody's gonna take
that was
offense.
my approach totally. But also because the makeup artist didn't speak any English. It was a little bit difficult to talk it with her. Even when I saw her my hairstyle, like, she was like, oh, you already had it curl. And I'm like, yeah, but I need more volume. Like, you know, the wind makes it like straight. And she was like, just like touching it a little bit, throwing me some stuff. And she was like, you're done. And I was like, no, I'm not done. We are not done. No, please, can you help me? Like, I just felt like, what just happened? Like it was just, and because I remember when I went to them, they were like, so fast. Normally that makeup artist takes like 1 hour. She did it in half an hour. And I'm like, I wonder why. I wonder why.
Because I'm so good.
No, literally I was seeing myself and I felt like, this is not good. Like,
oh no.
it feels like when I do myself my makeup, it's like really poorly. You can see it right now. Like literally, I super basic. My makeup skills are super low. Also because I'm a little bit lazy to learn. Not gonna lie, but I just feel like when a makeup artist or a hairstylist does my hair and my makeup, I feel like I need a change. Like I feel like I feel like another person because my makeup is already really basic, my skill. So I don't know. I just like that extravaganza feeling. Of course, if it's the mood or like the theme is extravaganza, but if it's gonna be like, for example, umbro, they just like put some tiny freckles and like some redness because I was like running and like know that much makeup because I'm supposed to be like a little kid vibe, sense of like I'm just running, I'm like doing sports. So yeah, because the theme was a little bit little kid. That's what I mean. It's not in a weird way. It's because it was like called Flavor Village, and the vibe was like a Windows background. Literally, it was like a Windows background.
Like the hills and like the cloud, perfect blue sky.
Super strong colors, like super
saturated. Yeah.
And or even our clothing were like super bright. So
Okay.
that's why the vibe was like a little bit like childhood style. So yeah, but yeah, the shooting went super smoothly. The clothes fit me nicely and everything. So I was really, really happy with the results.
So what do you think it's like? Like, how's your perspective changed now that like you mentioned you were working kind of behind the lens and now primarily in front, right? So like, what's your perspective now on kind of like where you want to take fashion after modeling or going forward? Do you want to really dive deep into modeling and maybe start traveling, visiting other countries? Or do you just want to kind of absorb some information so you can really take off with your own project later?
I think it's gonna be mostly the second option, but also because I have the feeling like I'm not trying to put me down, but I feel like I don't have the potential to be like a model that travels around. You know, like
why?
I feel like there's a lot of pretty people outside. There's a lot of people, unique looking people outside, and my height is I'm just 172, so it's not even that tall to like being called for like or runways or like doing. I mean, I know for photo there's no need for being tall, but of course it gives like a more slight, like more skinny or slender vibe to the style of at least my prototype because I'm in the skinny side. I mean, but I'm not skinny enough sometimes because I have muscular type of body. So they are like, oh, can you lose weight? And I'm like, this is literally muscle. Like, I can't.
I just got muscle on my bones. Like, I'm either going to disappear or we're going to shoot this.
Literally. And I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, if I could, I would. But I don't know. I just feel like when I see everyone and like I see people in this industry, I feel sometimes a little bit aberrate.
See, you know, like I like that you're like really humble about like where you think you are and with modeling, but I really think like you should give yourself the opportunity to at least see if it's possible, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, even before you mentioned like, I thought nobody's gonna book me, and then boom, first job, Samsung, right? Like that's really big job. And then now you're booking more jobs consistently, right? Like, because you just need to build up some portfolio. But like, if you could go somewhere, like I'll be blunt. Like, I think probably you are going to be too short for runway because, you know, like, well, it depends. Like, if you want to do runway in Asia, there isn't really like, they're not so strict. But if you want to go to the States or Europe, it's pretty like, you have to be like this tall to ride the roller coaster, you know?
That's the traveling part that I was afraid of. Maybe in Asia, maybe I'm okay, but maybe in Western, they don't see me, you know, as a model. Because if I was already in Spain and never any model agency in Spain saw me as a model, then I think for me traveling, like maybe it's only inside Asia, how do you call it, community or commercial, like industry, like only in this area. Because for real, like when I was in France or when I was in Italy, okay, they can say, oh, you're pretty, but not like a model or something.
Yeah, but
like
you know, like I think, see, like my question is, what's a model, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I think now there's really a market for everyone. Like, do I think everybody can make a living? No. But do I think almost anybody could book a job somewhere for some client? 100%.
Yeah.
Do I think some people can book jobs more often? Definitely, right? I mean, I think you really just need to explore a little bit and find different markets that work for you. So, like, for example, Europe was 50-50 for me, but Asia was always great. So I just kind of traveled through Asia, but you get to explore and see so many different countries, you know, grow your network.
Yeah.
And like, there's so many great like emerging markets now. Like, I know like Thailand's growing. I heard Vietnam is starting
Vietnam fashion is
Yeah.
so good. Like I love it. I
Mhm.
go crazy with it. So like I really wish I could for real.
So like, is your current agency now kind of working as like your mother agent, or they're just kind of sponsoring your visa while you're in Korea?
Yeah, I think that's most of the
Ah.
thing because they don't provide any job or castings. Like literally, I'm doing everything by myself. Like all the jobs that I got so far have been by myself. So my idea, to be honest, is like to try to like boost my career. So I know that to grow, I also have to find other model agencies, but it's a little bit difficult out here, to be honest. Like they, even though I try to contact them, and I'm like, I'm interested, I want to. They never stick on it. Like they just say, oh, yes, of course, we will call you. Oh, yeah, we will contact you. They never do. So I don't know if it's because I'm not a good fit for their profiles or what it is. Like in the meantime, since working by myself and as a freelancer is okay, I'm gonna stick to it. But it's true that I will love to grow. To be honest.
Yeah, I think like because I know I mean, we're starting to build more relationships with agencies overseas, especially in Southeast Asia. Just because Southeast Asia is super connected in terms of like the fashion markets. Like you can get direct bookings here and there because it's really cheap to fly around and the visas are more. There's less barrier to get it versus like coming to Korea. But yeah, like I think like you would do really well in markets like the Philippines. I feel like you could. I mean, if you're booking Samsung and like TVC here, you're just gonna book a ton of CVC down in Southeast Asia, like Thailand. But yeah, I think you know what, maybe I can. After this, I'll see if I can contact my old agency owner in the Philippines because honestly, I really feel like. I don't know. I just get the sense that like your facial profile would do really well there.
Well, thanks so much.
Yeah, and I think that's one of like the really great things about modeling is you can travel, right? Yeah.
I would love to for real. Like it's one of my favorites part of like anything in the world. Like if you can combine it with your job or like your hobbies or stuff. Like I think traveling is amazing because that's why I'm here. Like literally, I was in Spain. I have been in France or Germany, New York, and I have traveled to many places. But I just felt like here, like it was, I don't know, so much fun and like a better match for what I was looking for. So, and I'm really happy that it's like that. Like I was accepted the same way I accepted it in my life. So if I could travel like to the Philippines or Indonesia or like to Vietnam or Hong Kong, like I would love it for real. Like
I think it's definitely possible. But like I don't think you should be so hard on yourself. Like you know, because I mean this is the thing. Like this is the truth about modeling. You know, like the reality is there's always somebody prettier. There's always somebody more handsome. Somebody with sharper jaw. Somebody that's 1 year younger. Has like a little bit better eye color. You know, like it always exists. So
Yeah.
it's like. I think if you get trapped in this like mindset of like always comparing to the next model, like it's gonna become really hard to like bear that. But the reality is like, you know what? Sometimes like you get booked, sometimes you don't. Like I don't think you can really take it personally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think your profile can definitely have the ability to start going overseas, like abroad from Korea. And
Thank
like
you so
then you'll really start to experience like, wow, this is like way crazier than I thought. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Ryan, for real.
So like I'm curious now, like, what's your plan kind of going out of modeling? Because you talked about that a little bit. Like, do do you want to start producing your own collections as a designer? Do you want to start focusing some more time into being a creative artist, like a stylist or something within that realm?
To be honest, even when I was studying university, I never had the idea of like being the head fashion designer. Like everyone always in my classroom was like, I want to be the designer. I want to be the one in control. I want to be, and I was like, I just want to be part of a team. Like, for example, I'm obsessed with Mason Margiela teamwork mindset. Like, I feel like they are so nice and cool. Like they work together. They're a teamwork for real. Or even Jangbeom's teamwork is also, I love it. So my idea was like coming here was to be part of something that was already created or done. Like I would like to be the art director or the art creator or like on the social medias, because I'm really obsessed also with creating content and like videos and everything and doing all that stuff, like even for it to look nice and clean. And or if not the fashion illustrations or like the stylism, whatever, like I can do multitasking, but I'm really bad at sewing. Like I'm really, really bad. And I also feel like, okay, I can design and I can create the outfits and I know what can work or what can't. Like I just don't go for like super impossible designs, because if not, you can make it real in the end. But after that, I'm like stuck there. Like I'm like I was the type of person and the type of student that had this huge sketchbook full of ideas, like so many drawings, so many reference, so many things. And the teachers were always like, "Wow, so nice! Now make it real." And I was like, and I was like crying and choosing like the most simple design that I did. And they were like, "Why didn't you choose this one?" I was like, "Did you see that? Like I can do that."
Okay. I get what you're saying now. So like I guess like to kind of refine my question would be like, what would be your dream job in fashion outside of modeling? Is that like working in a role on the design team of like a fashion house or like a small brand or like
it can be a small brand perfectly. We can grow together. I even think that the more family friendly it is, the better, because I feel like we start together, we know the struggles, we know how we can make mistakes, and we just help each other growing. If it's one that is, I never thought about being part of Dior or like Jacquemus or something like that. I always thought about like a small brands, to be honest, because I feel like these high fashion brands, they get advantage of new designers. Like Balenciaga already did it so many times. Like they just steal their TFT, like the end work that they have done for university, like some fashion designer students, or like they just steal portfolios, or they use you for 1 year and they're like, okay, go. So I prefer if it's like more organic growing and helping each other and providing to each other. Like that's what I'm more looking for.
And like what kind of style of clothing would you like to be like a part of? Is that like more avant-garde, more ready to wear? Like
I love ready to wear, like the pret-a-porter style, like street style, hip hop, or like even a kubi, like try to combine the futurism style of this. Like I don't know if you know this brand, but it's called Sync. It's like super futuristic gray colors, black light. It feels like, you know, these robotic futuristic movies that they are wearing, like this constructed clothing,
like cyberpunk kind of stuff.
Yeah, a little bit, but like more bring it to normal clothing, not like too much of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like this alternative vibe, or if not, like more like simple. Like I also like when it's total black collection.
Wow, you blend right in with Korean culture, Korean fashion culture.
That's why I knew that I was gonna be a good fit for like Korean fashion industry. I also focus on like Vietnam, China, or like Japan when I was in university, when I was studying it. But I realized that my style was more focused like on in connecting with the Korea. So yeah, like I don't know. I just like to investigate, and I really like also mixing feminine with tomboy type of clothing, because that way you can also make it unisex. And you can sell to anyone. Like there's no specific genre to it.
So where do you take like inspiration to like kind of develop your own style? Because I mean, it's pretty clear cut to see when people kind of have their own way of like how they dress and express themselves. So do you take inspiration from, I don't know, like designers or artists, like influencers? Where do you pull from to kind of create your style?
To be honest, I think I bring my style from all the small brands that I did the networking or like I contacted, because I ended up liking it and I like start connecting everything. And to be honest, depending on the mood that I'm having that day, I dress one type, one way or another. Like I have so many styles. Like today I was like feeling a little bit sad because this past day was raining, and when when it rains, it affects me. So I was like, okay, I need to dress pretty because that way I lift up my mood. Like every time that I feel like I'm feeling ugly or sad, I have to dress pretty, so that way I boost myself up. But other times, if I want to wear more comfortable clothes, I just go for the oversized or even more hip hop baggy pants, or like more tomboys. I love crop tops, for example. I'm obsessed, and everything that I see that there's the belly button out, I'm like, yeah, we're going for that style. Like I'm always that type. But I don't know, I'm just like really changing. But yeah, I guess I will. Depending on the mood, I go more feminine skirts and everything, or I guess bloquete will be my favorite style because it's mixing like football t-shirts with the skirts and like some ribbons from ballet, or like I like that style because it's mixing the two aesthetics that I like. So I guess I could go with that.
Are there any trends that you follow? Like I know Korea is very, very trend heavy when it comes to fashion. So like, have you ever been caught up in like Korean fashion trend or?
Totally. I think the warmers.
The leg warmer.
They were like warmers. In Spain, I will have never, because they look at you like, are you crazy? Like, are you trying to be like a little kid or something, or like a Japanese girl? In Spain, they're a little bit more like close-minded with the outfits, the clothing. They prefer if you only wear jeans and a hoodie. Like their fashion sense is really low. In Madrid, maybe they are like better, but in the rest of the country, like if you go out, like if I went out like this, they will be looking at me like, are you trying to be better than me? Like, why are you trying so hard? Like, why are you wearing those clothes? Or like even the Kill Bill yellow shoes, like, oh, are you trying to get attention? Like, are you a pick me girl? Like, they will be like that. But another trend that I also got from Korea is the makeup style. Like, I like the soft, cute vibe. Even though I have like a really strong jawline, I like to go more for baby doll type of makeup, like more cutie or like glitter. I love glitter, like or some highlighters and everything. Like I prefer to go soft.
Wow, it's very interesting. Like it sounds like you really don't have a boundary of what like you're interested in like trying to wear or do, because like I think people kind of get segmented into one where it's like, you know, like my style is very feminine. Or, you know, my style is very like street, but it sounds like you have like a really good blend of both where you're like, yeah, I can do whatever I want. Like,
I feel it's better to just surf between them, because it's like you only have one life. Just enjoy all of the aesthetics. Like, why just one? Like, I don't know. It's more fun, I think.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Is there anywhere like you go in Seoul to like find like your holy grails of clothing? Like, I know some, like I have a couple stores that I will never tell anybody about because I need to keep them secret to myself. But like, is there any like hotspots that you go to like find clothes or like develop your style?
I love all the pop-up stores that just come up on the Instagram. I will just go. So maybe sometimes they are most of them are in Sansu, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
And sometimes, or they just go to Hanam, or like they go to Itaewon, because sometimes they just open the pop-up store. If the brands that I like, normally they don't have a physical shop. So when I see that they are going to do a pop-up store, I just go and like to check and everything. But right now, I'm pretty obsessed with Loose Sleep. Is this brand? This T-shirt, for example, is from hair there, because it's hers, like it's two girls. And I just really like their aesthetic. Is comfortable clothing that you will wear at home, like a pajama, but on the outside. Like super basic patterns, but really nice. And they, for example, they do a lot of pop-up store, but they also have a physical one, and I'm like really going for them. Or other, I don't know, I just like travel around, and literally I can just tell like a specific place because they just open suddenly a pop-up store, so I just go. In Mule, sometimes I think they also open pop-up stores, like, so yeah, it's just my advice will be just to check always Instagram to see the small brands saying, oh, pop-up store, because sometimes in that one you can have like 10 different brands that you can.
Yeah, for sure. Almost like a flea market, right? Yeah. Have you had the chance to work with like any brands that like you were wearing before you started modeling? Like, you know, maybe you were wearing this brand and then the client was like, hey, I want to book you, and you're like, oh my God,
The funniest thing is that it happened that they are like, "Oh, I like you." Like I was wearing the clothes and they see me and they are like, "Oh, I really like you. Like I would love to work with you." They never call back.
Oh.
Like I got so hyped up and I'm like, "Oh my god, they want to work with me." Like they liked me with their clothes on, but sadly, it hasn't happened that they saw me with their clothes and then they book me.
Do you think that's because like their profile or like who their target audience isn't like your profile, like physical profile?
Yep, totally. I to be honest, I have a lot of body dysmorphia with that because I know that for fashion they prefer straight hair, for example, like even more for this alternative style that I like. They normally prefer straight hair. They think it looks more cool, and also they like small faces. So maybe I look too much like fierce for what they are looking for, because normally all these fashion brands that I really love and I love their clothes, they always go for these baby doll girls with round faces and big eyes, big lips and everything. So maybe for some of them I'm like not a good match. Like they like my body type, but maybe the face doesn't connect properly with them. So that's why with fashion I'm still like fighting a little bit to get into it and like for be like it. So even more because of the type of brands that I like. But yeah, I'm still gonna keep it up and like doing the networking, and even if they don't like me, someone else will like me. So I'm just
Yeah, I mean, I think like you have a great mindset of like how you're approaching brands, like how you're presenting yourself. Like I think you're really setting yourself up to be successful. But you know what? Like the truth is sometimes you just never get to work with the brands that you want. Like I there's one client I wish I could work for, and I know I'm never ever going to get to work for them, because it's just like my profile is so opposite. Yeah. But you know, like that's just modeling.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, you can just enjoy their clothing and that's it.
Yeah. But it would be cool to work
Yeah,
with them.
I know the feeling totally. Like I'm always like acceptance, like yeah, of course, and then 5 minutes later, like like crying on the corner, like why not? Love me, but yeah, I know that feeling.
So how do you deal with, because like I think you, so like I really want to start opening this podcast or kind of like interview style up to people coming into the fashion industry that really don't, you know, have much experience or know anything about it, or are just learning. Like I always talk about like having thick skin in the fashion industry, because you know, like it's just really set up to like critique your appearance, which you know is very hard on your self-esteem and your ego and all these things. Like how are some of the ways that like you deal with, you know, like this societal pressure or market pressure of where you're living to look this way or be this way?
To be honest, I think it's more of like a internal thing of how should I look because of what I wish I could look like. But normally all the clients, when they see me, they took me because I look the specific way they wanted. So they okay. As far as I have been working in the industry, they have been really nice with like my body shape. Like only once they have told me I have to lose weight.
That's crazy.
And I told them like, yeah, well, this is muscle type. Like literally like my okay are huge. Like I have like this athletic type of body. I can't. Like, I mean, maybe I can lose. Like I lost from when I was in Spain. Literally, I'm skinnier. I'm like 53 kilograms right now. But for example, when I have done commercial, they are not that strict. For example, in the Kia commercial, I had to wear like this corset and it wasn't closing. It wasn't closing. And it was just because of my ribs, literally, because I don't even have boobs. And literally it's just my ribs are huge. So it's like I couldn't close. And I was like, oh my God, like I was getting stressed. And the stylists were like, oh, no worries. And she took the scissors.
Clip.
She took the scissors and just cut it from the other side just to help me breathe. And like, it's fine. You look amazing. Don't worry at all. Like, because I was like, I was even saying like, I'm really sorry. It doesn't fit me. And they were like, no, don't say that. Like, stop it. Like, it's totally fine. And like, you are super skinny already.
I mean, that's also their fault for not doing a fitting, right?
But I mean, to be honest, I feel like the European size that I know are so different from here. Like when I say I'm an XS in Spain, I come here and it's like so small.
Yeah.
Literally in a fitting that I did for the brand that they told me I had to lose weight, I told them that I was an XSS. Now I say it like double just in case. I wore an S or like an XS. It would fit me perfectly. They were like, no, it should be baggy. you are an M. And I'm like, no, an XS to be fixed. If you go higher and bigger, of course, it's going to be baggy. No, you're an M. And I was like, what? Literally just because the pants weren't loose on me. But supposedly when you wear an XS, it's supposed to fit you perfectly if it's your size. So I was like, what? I was so
That's just Asian sizing though. Like in Canada, I might wear this size, but then when I come to Korea or wherever in Asia, I always have to buy 2 sizes up because it's just like, you know, like their shoulders aren't as wide or like their arm. I mean, the problem for me is like my arm and leg is so much longer than average Asian people. So it's hard to find like the waist that fits and then the length that matches, right?
Yeah, totally.
It's always like I can get the length and then it's like 4 sizes too big, right? And I'm like, who's wearing this?
You know where did I find the best baggy pants ever that I'm obsessed wearing every day? You know this Market Street that everything is on the floor here in Korea? What is the name?
Dongdaemun?
Yeah. They were on the floor. I took them. I was like, of course they were dirty, but I was like, oh, wait. I put them on like only on my clothing, no wearing. I was like, oh, the waist is perfect. And the length of the pants, like, it's perfect. It's going to be baggy. And I was like, how much is this? And they were like 2,000 wons. And I was like, ah! I was like,
I'll take all of them.
take my money. Like, throwing the 2,000 wons. Like, I'm so freaking obsessed. Like, they fit me so nicely. And, like, literally, they don't give me, like, these... Even this Tara skirt is, like, just giving me the empty, like, the big gap. The gap in the back of the skirt. These pants fit me so well. Like, they were made for me. And I was like, and I just found you on the floor. Like, I just, like, pick you up.
Wow, that's super lucky.
I was so happy because I'm really bad at buying in flea markets and everything because I see so many things, but I'm like this. Like, I'm afraid to touch or, like, look around. I'm like,
yeah, that's nice. Okay, next one.
Yeah, like this meme of, like, picking it up. Oh, so cute. And putting it back.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. Like, I just think it's really interesting. Like, I don't think actually, no, that's not true. I think everybody that I've had the opportunity to talk with on the podcast so far is being really open and humble about their experience. But, like, I think this is just really refreshing to have somebody that's just so open-minded about, like, just being here and exploring versus, like, you know, I'm going to be this and I'm going to be top model number 1 and like I'm the best. Like, I mean, that gets a little played out sometimes. Like, it's just really refreshing to hear. So like what has your experience been like working with other models? Because like I know sometimes like when you have a shoot on your own, it's very different, but then you know when other people come into play, you can't really control like how they're gonna interact with you or like what has that experience been like?
So far, even like the ones that were even high fashion models, they were all really kind. They are like really easygoing. They are just like doing their job. They professional and they even are able, like they talkative. Of course, there's gonna be ones that are a little bit more introvert, but just the personality is not because of other reason. I talk too much. Like I'm really overwhelming. I talk so much that I even make talk someone that doesn't want to talk. So it's like because at least I hope I'm not annoying. Like, but I do it just because. I also love silence, okay? Don't get me wrong. But I just feel like when you meet someone for the first time, I'm just so curious because I don't know anything about them. So there's so many things I can explore and like ask.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like always, even if it's just like, for example, we are eating and I'm like, oh, is this buksunga? Oh, I'm allergic to buksunga. And then it's like we are just talking and like sharing and they are like, oh, I'm allergic to this or oh, I'm not, blah, blah. So it's like just connects and like goes easy going. So far, all of them were like really kind and nice. Like I didn't met any snob or like high type.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, I was really lucky to be honest.
Is there anything since like you started modeling that you don't like about modeling or the fashion industry, like it's kind of put you off?
Maybe, but I think this is more because it's only in Korea. Like the time that you work, like there's so many hours compared to Europe, for example. Like it's like working for so long, and like you are staying. Like sometimes, I mean, to be honest, I can't complain that much because sometimes I just work for 5 minutes and I'm just like the 5 hours waiting. Like
Yeah.
literally, like for the Samsung commercial that
That's
I did,
TVC.
5 hours of doing nothing and 5 minutes of recording because there were other models. So I
Mhm.
was just like waiting and eating. I wasn't doing anything anyways. So I'm like really happy. But it's true that I can see the comparison of like for how long you have to work and be there compared to like the European schedule, I guess. But I don't know. I feel no, I shouldn't be even complaining about that. It's not even that hard. Not for me. It's more for the teamwork. Wait, I have to think about another
So
one.
so have you ever had a let me ask you this. Have you ever had a shoot that went like I don't know, like a ridiculously long time?
Yeah, the first one that I did for Samsung, the main model one, like
Okay, not production,
Oh.
cuz production
Oh, shoot.
always goes like they're always like, "Oh yeah, it's going to be like 5 hours." And then it's like 24 hours, you know? Like it never is on time, but that's just production. But like have you ever had a shooting where they're like you showed up and they're like, "Yeah, it's going to be like 8 hours." And then there's like 100 pieces or 200 pieces?
the Umbro one, I think,
really?
was because we ate super late also, like super late, because the food wasn't. They said it was because the food wasn't arriving, but anyways, the food was there and we were still like shooting, and yeah, we finally ate, and of course we did like overtime and everything. And like we started like at 8 and we ended up like at almost at 10 or something like that. Like it was crazy.
So would you ever go to cuz like wow, I feel like I'm just gaining like CCP social points cuz I always bring up China cuz I spent a lot of time there like in the very beginning of my career. Would you ever go to a market like that because those kind of shootings, e-commerce is like 10 hours is nothing. That's like half day here.
I hear in China is crazy
Yeah.
because it's like you work a lot, but you don't sleep. Like literally, it's
yeah.
like here you're suffering because you can find jobs, but there it's like, okay, yeah, you are gonna work a lot, but like forget about having free time or like sleeping. Like literally, is like they take you to the place, you do the job, go back to the hotel, sleep, next day again.
Yeah.
Like it's like non-stop a lot. So I guess if you are like in a rush or needing to like save up, maybe it's a good idea. Not maybe for a long time, but if you need to save up money, maybe.
But
but I don't know.
I think like that's also kind of a misconception
Oh.
that it's like I mean, yes, you'll have sometimes jobs that are like 18 hours just shooting 500 pieces or like 600 pieces, like more pieces than like how are they even producing that many different clothes? I don't know. Who's buying that?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I think like there's also like a lot of great opportunity there for, you know, campaign, print, editorial. I mean, there's talented creative artists like all over the
I
world.
mean, have you seen the Vogue?
Yeah.
Like the all the thumbnails. No, how do you call it? La portada, the front paper. Like
Yeah, I know what you mean.
they crazy good. Like
Yeah.
they look so nice and like all the creativity they have. Like it's amazing. But they really do 500, 600.
I've had I think
outfit?
the longest I ever had was cuz there it's you know in Korea it's kind of like they give you like a fixed hour and it's like
Oh.
very close to that fixed hour. But there it would be like, "Oh yeah, 6 hours they said, but probably going to be overtime." And then it's like you show up and there's like 20 racks and you're like, "Oh, this is not 6 hours."
So they lie to pay less?
No, like no,
or-
because they actually have to pay more because like overtime there, I don't know if it's still the same, but it's time and a half. So let's say your hourly rate is 100, right? After 6 hours, now it's 150.
Oh, okay.
150 every hour.
Oh, okay.
So it's like more beneficial
Oh.
for them to be like, "Hey, it's 20 hours, no overtime," right?
Okay.
But like I think like sometimes if the flow is just really good, they'll just keep bringing clothes because like they like you or like they're just like, okay, like this model gets it. And yeah, like I think the worst I ever had, like I showed up and it was like I could just see like it was just a room maybe this size just full of racks. And I went like first thing I always do is I count just so I can get like a mental idea of like, okay, like this many we can get done an hour. Okay, like that many changes. Like, okay, it's going to take like this long. And like, I was just like, and then like at the end of that, which was like 12 hours, they're like, okay, so yeah, we're gonna have dinner now, and then they're gonna bring the rest. I was like, the rest? What? And then it was like, I think the total shooting time was like 18 hours or something. It was crazy, yeah.
To be honest, even when I just have to change 8 outfits, I already feel tired. So I can't even imagine, like.
But there's very quick. You know, like here, I think sometimes they can be a little picky with like fixing stuff that can be done in post, but it's expensive, so I get it. But they're just kind of like, okay, let's go.
And maybe, I guess, for men, if they have short hair, it's easier to not have to retouch the hair for every change. Because literally, if you put me like different clothing, my hair is going to get fussy. Like it's going to get, so you have to fix it all the time because it gets messy. So I guess maybe, I don't know, maybe for male fashion, maybe it's my faster.
Yeah, like, I think it depends. Like, that's why I cut my hair short now because like I was always tired of like, first, I didn't like the style. Like, anytime I had long hair, it was very Korean style. You know, like this one, or like it was kind of almost like a bowl, and I was always like, I don't like it.
No, but this hairstyle suits you really well because you have a small face, so it's like it brings out your figure, like more your jawline.
I think like definitely fits my features better. I wish I did it a long time ago because I always had longer hair. Actually, I used to have hair almost
like mullet type.
Not quite. It was just really long, like a little bit longer than that. But that was always just like such a pain to like deal with. And then you go to shooting and it takes so long and they put so much product in there. And then you're at home like trying to like crack your hair with a hammer so you can like start to like dissolve the hairspray. So I was just like, I can't do that anymore.
Yes. I used to when I was really really young. I had really long hair, like when in 2014. So I guess I was 16, and I realized it was horrible for me to have long hair because it made my face even longer. So I just cut it for the first time with a basic bob, and I still didn't find my curls. Like I was still straightening my hair because I thought that straight hair is more beautiful in that time. So yeah, since then I have always had short hair. Now I'm going a little bit more with like this constructed mullet because
no, it's cool. It really suits your style.
I wanted to go a little bit Ursula Corbero. I don't know Corbero.
I don't know that.
You know La Casa de Papel? Money Hate? Oh my God. You don't know this series?
Oh yeah.
You know this red please, you must know like that red tracksuit that they go to steal.
Money Heist. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, my Spanish.
No, that's okay.
You know Tokyo? Okay, whatever. Cut.
Okay, I get it.
But yeah, I was wanting to go for hairstyle because I really like her. Like I think she is like my woman figure to follow up.
Ah, really? That's cool. Have you ever like thought about doing anything kind of crazy? Because I know like modeling can be sometimes restrictive on like how you can, change your hair or like get piercing or this kind of stuff. Like have you ever thought about like dyeing it crazy color or doing crazy cut? Or
my hair is virgin, like literally same color, like forever.
You're never gonna change it.
To be honest, I feel like it's gonna damage a lot, and I'm already losing a lot of hair here in Korea. So like, I don't know. But I remember for the Kia commercial, they asked me, "Will you go blonde?" And I was like, "Okay, first of all, my hair is virgin, so if you want to go blonde, you have to pay me 5 million every day because it was a 3-day shooting, and pay for the treatment." And they were like, "Okay, brown is good," and I'm like, "Okay." They got so scared with my budget, but it's because I feel like when you bleach it, there's no going back. As if you don't like.
Yeah, but your hair keeps growing out.
Yeah,
right?
but like, I feel like it takes a really long time if you don't have like a fast growing type of hairstyle. And to be honest, I feel like my hair is really weak already. Like it's really thin. So I don't know if like, I mean, I had the idea like bleaching it blonde and have like curly blonde hair, like looking a little bit like more angel baby or something like that. I thought it might be cute, but I don't know. I'm happy with like keeping it natural. I don't know. Maybe in the future, if I feel like I'm getting bored of myself, of like seeing myself in the mirror. But right now, I like what I see. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like I think like you, as long as like you're comfortable, that's the most important. Yeah, I was just thinking about like, because I recently last year was the first time I dyed my hair because I was like, like I could never do it when I was working, and now like I'm not really doing modeling so much, so I can kind of do whatever the hell I want. And now I'm just thinking like, yeah, you know what? Like my hair does feel like a little bit weaker.
Yeah, it gives an after effect because even though your hair grows back, I feel like the pores are like weaker, like, and maybe you lose some spots or stuff like that because literally the bleach, if you do it from the root, is gonna be burning already. So the scalp, I guess.
Okay, so I have a question then. Like, do you have a dream client that you want to work for, like a designer or like magazine?
To be honest, I would love to be like in a cover of like a magazine. Like I work, but it wasn't published.
Yeah.
But with Pub magazine was the one that was like
cool.
looking for the Umbro one, but they didn't. They were just like the creative team.
So what if they said, hey, like let's say like Vogue Korea is like, hey, like we want to put you on the cover, like, but you have to go. You got to dye it blonde. We're not paying for it. This is editorial. They're not going to pay for it. I promise you that.
I mean, it's gonna open in me so many jobs. Can I wear
You have to decide right now. You cannot think about it.
Can I wear a wig? Okay, I guess if it's Vogue Korea and like really good, then maybe, yeah. Okay.
Would you ever do anything else, like get a piercing or ear piercing or this kind of thing?
Well, I have never done any tattoos, no piercing.
Really?
Only the basic ear ones because Spanish women normally do it when they babies.
Oh, okay.
But I never done any of those because my parents were like always like, if you get any of those, you are not coming back home. And I was like, okay, I want to be home, so I'm not gonna do it. And to be honest, I also think that is good that I didn't because it's giving me more job opportunities. Like when I'm saying like I'm no tattoos, no nothing, like I think it's like better for
I mean protect your image for sure.
And I don't know, I have never had, maybe when I was a teenager I thought that piercings were super cool, but so many friends get so many infections and like they had so many problems and they went to sleep or like they get stuck with the clothing, so blah blah blah, and I was like, no, I don't like that. I also even wanted a belly button person once, but no, I think now I'm too old for that. So yeah, I think if it's for a paid job, they can always fake it, like it can be a fake person.
So like, do you ever find it hard? This is like completely off topic now. Do you ever find it hard? Like, I don't know. Do you get to go home very often?
I went this last Christmas.
Okay. Yeah.
My idea is to go at least once a year in 1 month, like to make it worth it and like to stay. I thought that for Christmas was the best time, also because that way I avoid the cold from here.
Yeah.
And Spain is so much better, and also I can be in New Year's Eve with my family, even in. For Spanish are Catholic, so like for us, Christmas is more like family time and like meeting up and being together. My parents wish that I came 2 times in a year, but I told them that I never know when I'm gonna get a job. So like sometimes in summer I work a lot, so I can just go in summer. So yeah, when I went back, it was so much fun because all my village neighbors, like because I'm from a village also, not only city. They were like, yeah, Carmen, I always knew you were going to be a model. I was like, you all freaking liars. You all thought I was the ugly friend. Like, what are you talking about? And all of them, like, they were coming to me up drunk, like, yeah, Carmen, you were the most beautiful of all of them. I always knew. And I was like, okay. And but also there's also good part and also bad part because they are always complaining to my parents like, your daughter just left you. She's not with you. She just went so far away. Like, she's such a bad daughter. And my parents are like, why, is she gonna stay at home like yours? Like, sorry.
No, it's okay. Throw shade. Have they ever had the opportunity to come over to Korea?
They are too afraid and too
Oh,
old.
really?
Yeah,
Why?
that's what they say. They are too old. Like their body hard. Like they are 66.
Oh, that's not too old.
I know, but they make the excuse anyways because they are really afraid. Like they don't speak any English, and the only way I think they will be brave enough to come if I go to Spain, I come with them and then go back with them, like doing the traveling with them, so they don't feel lonely in the plane and everything. But I do hope that in the near future they do before it's like too late in terms of like, yeah, we are 17 now, like we can't, like they have more of an excuse. But I don't know, let's see, little by little. I don't want to force them because I know at least my mom is really, really curious. Like since I started working here, she became a fan of doramas and like dramas and everything. Yeah. So she started watching it and she was like showing me that and learning some tiny words, and she's so cute. Like she got super invested. And even my parents, he's like always learning about news, like catching up with everything, like talking with me, like, oh, how is it now, blah, 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 like the politics. They are like invested in two different ways because I'm right now here. So I do think they will love it here, but I don't know. The farthest that they have been is in Rome. So
oh, wow, okay.
like, no, not that
What do you think like they would think about like eating Korean food?
They have.
Oh, really?
But only in Spain, so maybe the ingredients are like Spanish.
Yeah, I mean like really like local traditional Korean food, right?
I think they will for sure because my parents love tteokbokki.
Oh, really?
Like they liked it, even though it was spicy, and they love bibimbap. It's their favorite. Like they love it. But I think they will for sure like eat. Like they are super open-minded with the food. Like they are foodies, so they love to go to restaurants and try different things. So I don't think they will have any problem at all.
Well, that's cool. I really hope that you can get them over here because like my it's like the same with my mom. Like she traveled a lot to like wherever I was working, but like she when I came to Korea the first time, then she started watching like K-dramas and stuff. She's like, oh, did you see that lawyer show, the Korean one? She's like, got disability. It's so good. And I'm like, which one? She's like, Woo something. And then everybody's like, oh, Woo, what much? I'm like, I guess so. I don't know. Yeah, it's just kind of interesting, like how K culture is kind of like invaded everywhere. Like everybody's just so hungry for it. I want to go back just a little bit to something you mentioned before we kind of wrap up, and like I think you kind of mentioned you said something that was like, you know, like with modeling, you never really know when the next job's coming, right? Like, how do you feel about like, you know, not having like real stability versus working like a 9-to-5 job where, you know, a check's coming every week or 2 weeks or monthly, however it's set up, where modeling is very, you might make
stable roller coaster.
Yeah.
To be honest, I have worked as a waitress also, so I know how it is, like more as in like that routine and stability. Not gonna lie, this lifestyle is so easy. Like, it's so fun. Like when I go to work, I don't feel like I'm working. I'm having fun, to be honest. I'm enjoying it so much every time that I do any type of photo shoot or like anything. So, and even the day before, I'm like so excited in bed, like, oh my God, tomorrow I'm gonna work. Like I'm so happy.
That's awesome.
For real, like I don't know why, I just have so much fun. So I wouldn't change it even though there's this instability because since even, for example, this past month, it has been horrible. I haven't worked anything. Like, I didn't get, like, any casting fixed or anything. But I have done a lot of networking. I got to know a lot of people. I found my own way to get jobs because sometimes, just because I do a collaboration, they, for example, with the students, photographer students or something like that, they just find me or their students, or, like, they have friends that need models to get paid job type. And they just contact me and they are like, oh, I saw you here. Like, do you want to work together? And I'm like, oh my God. So it's like, even though I have this period of not official works, I'm still like working. I'm still creating, or like I create content for my Instagram. I take really much care about it because I know that all the jobs that I also find is from there. Like all the clients, all the networking is also from Instagram. So I try to build it up organically. I don't like promoting. I don't like wasting money on Instagram. So I normally do it really slowly, step by step. I create my outfit chains, get ready with me type of videos, and normally the clients really like it. Like they always like, oh, I really like you because like you were wearing all these clothing and like you know how to pose and like you know how to make up an outfit. Like they like that I can do multitasking, and it's not only being a face, like that I'm creative. So I don't know. I just, to be honest, I totally prefer this life.
Really? Because it's interesting. Like some people hate it, some people love it. Like I think it's just really tough. Because like, how can I say? Like even like my co-founder, when we started the startup, like she was in like a very stable job with like clear trajectory, and now it's like you have no stability. Who knows what's going to happen? And it's like I think it takes like some adjustment period, and still maybe there's some like slight uncomfortability there, but it's just interesting that like you're very like attuned to being like, yeah, I'm totally okay with this.
I mean, it's true that I also can compare it to a real job, because what I have done so far since I finished my university years is that I work in the fashion industry directly as a stylist, and it's also in stable anyways. Like it's also, the stylist also depends on the same type of model schedule. Like if the model can make it, the stylist goes with it. Like sometimes it's like that, but I don't know. I guess it's just because I don't have any way to compare it to a really stable and like really wealthy type of job, I guess.
Have you had any opportunity to work in Korea as a stylist?
Yeah. I had it, but because of the E6 visa type, like
You weren't able to do it?
it's supposedly illegal because you have to be a E7. E6 visa is only like for actors, singers, musicians, models, like.
E7 is like creative artists.
Exactly. Like in different in that all that area. Like for.
Can you hold both at the same time?
I don't really know. I haven't tried because I still have to find anyways a fashion brand or company that wants to hire me, because I feel like stylists normally also are freelancers also. Normally, at least in Spain, I was freelancer. And if not, you can be part of a team that provides like stylists, photographers, cameramen, blah, 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 and hairstylists. So I don't know if I will still have the same problem with the language barrier or stuff like that. I'm not close to trying, so that's why I'm still like doing all the networking. I'm trying to work on it right now. Like I have a brand that is interested in me that way. I'll of course explain it to them that I'm an E6 visa, but they are willing to like wait and like try to
figure it out
together. And
wow,
figure
that's
it out.
awesome. That's really cool.
I'm really, really happy.
If you could do one or the other, do you think you pick modeling over working as a stylist?
No, I think I will work more as in like part of a fashion brand and being part of the team, like being a stylist, but also being art director. Not only a stylist, impossible.
No. Like I mean, like let's say, like within like the next few months, right? You have the opportunity to keep kind of like pursuing modeling, or like you have some opportunity to step away from modeling a little bit and start pursuing as a stylist. Which one are you more interested in?
I think I will go for sure for the second option, because I feel like it's more long-term type of like stability, and also because it's what I studied for starters, like what I was looking for. Modeling, literally, like being an actress wasn't in my mindset at all. And it just came up, and that's why I feel sometimes maybe that it's like a game a little bit. Like, of course, I do it as professional as I can. Like, I don't play around. Like, I do it. Even sometimes we finish earlier than we should, and the teamwork is always like, it was so smooth and so nice with you. Thank you. And I was like, yeah, but I'm gonna get paid less. Like, it went so fast, but I'm gonna get paid less. What? But so I think like with the other one, I feel like I can like.
I got you.
Sorry, I felt like a SpongeBob for a moment, but yeah, like I don't know. The other one, I feel like I can be more creative. Like I can bring more of my ideas and everything. In the modeling, it's just literally do what they tell you. Like in the other one, I feel like I'm more part of like the creative
process. That's really interesting. Well, like I just want to wrap up, because I think, wow, I say this every time, I really need to buy better SD cards. I know like the capacity of what like this SD card, that SD card, and this one can handle. I know it's gonna run out of memory soon. Yeah, I would love to have you back, because I feel like there's still a lot like we can just keep chatting about. And like I really love this energy. Like it's very open and positive, and like you're just being very honest and genuine, which like I really, really appreciate as like the host or like an interviewer, or whatever you call it.
Yes.
But yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for donating us your time, so we can have you on board and share your experience and your story, because a lot of times, like I have people reach out to me and they're really curious about like what the fashion industry is like from somebody that's starting in the fashion industry, somebody that's been in it for a little bit, somebody that's been in it for a long time. And like kind of learning and sharing these stories, I think really help those people, and like kind of build this community and allow us to like connect each other. So yeah, I'm really, really grateful that you were courteous enough to give us your time. Yeah, thank you so much. You'll be able to find Carmen's booking link and social, everything down below in the description. And yeah, we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you so much,
Bye.
Carmen.
Nice to meet you.
Bye.